What's up, everybody? Andrew with NQS Performance Outdoors coming to you from the workshop again. I'm just down here putting the finishing touches on my last ice rods of the season. We're going to start transitioning towards open water season here in southeastern Wisconsin pretty quickly, but wanted to give you guys a quick peek at the last rod that I built. I'm really happy with the way that it came out. I think you guys will enjoy it. I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my journey as a custom rod builder, give you a little bit of background about where that all came from and how I got started and how I've gotten to the point where I'm at right now. So we'll flip this camera around, give you a quick peek at the rod, and then we'll talk a little bit about custom rod building. Alright, you guys, here we go. This is a 30-inch extreme taper carbon fiber blank. Should be a great panfish rod. It's got just a standard cork Tennessee handle on it. One thing that's really nice about the Tennessee handles, it allows the user to place the reel on the rod exactly where they're going to want it. It's got a little hook keeper there, and then we did a really cool diamond wrap. Try to zoom in on that a little bit. Black, orange, and gray. The customer on this one is a big Harley Davidson fan, so we kind of gave him a little Harley themed rod here. Moving down the blank, that's a number 8 Pac Bay Minima, blacked out, all black. And then going further down the blank, we did fly guides the rest of the way. Nice thing about the fly guides is if you want to use a straight line reel, they work really nicely for that, but it'll also accommodate a spinning reel or a schoolie, whatever the user prefers. But we did fly guides the whole way, and you can see I wrapped a fly guide for the tip as well, and I used orange thread there and put some bright orange pigment into the finish just to try to give it a little more visibility. Again, this is a 1mm tip, so it should telegraph the bites pretty nicely, and that orange should just make it a little bit easier to see. So yeah, that's that one. 30-inch extreme taper carbon fiber. Should be a great little panfish rod. Right now that we've taken a look at that last ice rod of the season, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about how I got into custom rod building. I'll try to make it as quick as I can, not to bore you to death, but go back a few years ago, I went to the Ice Fishing Expo up in Milwaukee, and there was a custom rod builder, a prominent rod builder up there. I won't mention his name, but he had a booth at the expo. He had some noodle rods there, and I absolutely fell in love with them. Decided, hey, I want to get one of these. I talked with him. He told me, hey, go to my website, send me the payment via PayPal. Now, this was early December. He said he would have me a rod by the first of the year. I said, perfect. I went home, I ordered it, told him what colors I wanted, all that good stuff, sent the money via PayPal. January 1st rolled around, hadn't really heard back from him, hadn't received a rod, decided to call up there and check on it. At that time, he told me he was really backed up and he hadn't gotten to it yet and actually hung up on me. So I let it go for another 2 weeks, called back up there again, said, wanted to know, hey, what's going on with my rod? Same thing, real short answers, hung up on me. At that point, I went to PayPal. Fortunately, I used PayPal. I opened up a dispute with PayPal and actually had to get my money back. I never did receive the rod. And at that time, I just kind of thought, well, this is crazy. I'm just going to build myself one. Well, I never did get around to it. I got busy ice fishing and things of that nature. And next thing I knew, it was spring. Anybody that fishes with me knows one of my favorite baits in the whole world to fish with is a hula grub. I'll usually throw that on an 1/8 ounce jig head. One of my least favorite things to fish with, however, is a spinning rod. And I was having a difficult time finding a casting rod that I could throw those 1/8 ounce weights far enough to get the presentation that I wanted. I had purchased a G. Loomis rod that I thought would work, and it was okay. It wasn't great. It was just okay. So I used that for a season, and then the next season I had bought a St. Croix rod that I thought would do the job. So now here I am 2 seasons later, almost $500 into it, and I've got 2 rods that are just okay for what I want them to do. So at that point I just decided, you know what, I'm going to try to build a rod. I went on Mudhole, I ordered up all the supplies, the wrapper, the thread, the blank, the handle, all of it. And I just went at it guns blazing. I watched one video on YouTube, figured, how hard can this be? I'm just going to go ahead and put this rod together. I spent a bunch of time getting the guide layout just the way I wanted it, and went to town. I started wrapping the guides, got the handle all installed, and when it was all said and done, you guys, that rod, it was ugly. It was just ugly. The finish was bad. The guide wraps were full of gaps and overlaps, and I was devastated, you guys. I couldn't believe it. I just built quite possibly the ugliest, worst looking custom rod in the history of fishing. Just mortified. I moped around the house for a couple of days. I thought, man, what am I doing here? This is ridiculous. I'm terrible at this. And then something really important happened. I got over it. And I decided, you know what, you spent all this time on the rod, let's take it out and fish with it and see how it performs at least. So I got that rod out on the water. It casted beautifully. I caught a bunch of fish on it. It performed just the way I wanted to, and that kind of re-stoked the fire, so to speak. It kind of motivated me to go ahead and try again and get better. And so I built the next rod and the next rod, and each one got a little bit better. But the main thing that kept me going is, even though they weren't cosmetically beautiful rods in the beginning, they all performed really well. And so I was able to get those rods in the hands of some of my friends. I've been fortunate. I've got a lot of friends that fish. They took them out, they fished them, they were happy with the performance, and at that point, they said, hey, go ahead and build me one. And so with their support, I was kind of able to experiment on their dime as well as my own, and every rod was a learning curve. Every rod got better than the one before it. So I just kept plugging at it, and every time I build a rod still, I'm always trying to get better, make improvements, find ways to push myself with decorative wraps, marble paint finishes, anything I can do to make somebody's rod, unique to them is what I'm always striving for. So if there are any videos you guys want to see that you think might help expedite your learning curve in the rod building process, let me know. I'm happy to make those videos. I'm happy to help guys out. There's plenty of room out there. I'm certainly not doing this to get wealthy. I love the process of building rods. If I can sell a few, that's great. But mostly I do it because I love it. It's fun. It helps me pass the time in the winter, especially. If you guys are just starting out and there's something you want to see, whether it's a decorative wrap, marbling, anything of that nature, let me know in the comments below. I'll do what I can to get those videos made, help you guys expedite your learning curve and increase your productivity and help you enjoy the build process maybe more than you are right now. So let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, you guys. We'll see you next time, Tight Lines, everybody. Thanks for watching.